if Mark Carney is true to his word, it's probably going to happen sometime in the middle of June to late June. Okay, folks, we have breaking news from Ottawa. Apologies for the lack of a set, but this is what happens when news breaks. Damien Carrick, the MP-elect, or re-elected, for the riding of Battle River Crowfoot in Alberta, has told everybody that he will step aside. He will voluntarily resign in order to actually give Pierre Poilievre a chance to run in that by-election to secure a seat, which would allow him to then step into the House of Commons and take his formal position as the leader of the official opposition. Now, this is a very, very safe riding, according to 338. It would be an 82% chance that, or 82% of the popular vote would actually go to the Conservatives at that point. So it's a very, very safe riding. And the fact that it's in Alberta, it effectively shields Pierre Poilievre from any future problems that may arise. Now, the interesting thing is recently Mark Carney has said to the press that he would not delay a by-election should an MP step down.
I've already indicated to Mr. Poilievre that if it's the decision of him and the Conservative Party to trigger, if I can put it that way, a by-election, I will ensure that it happens as soon as possible. Okay. No games, nothing, straight.
And he would play no games, and I think that's the only thing that Mark Carney could do, because otherwise it would make him appear weak if he uses the maximum amount of time. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when a by-election is going to be called, it can be called as early as 11 days after the chief electoral officer actually receives the formal resignation from the MP in question. And then the election would then happen about 40 odd days, 46 days after that. And usually it's, when the speaker is notified, but we don't have to have a speaker to have a by-election to be called. So this is very, very, interesting times here. Mark Carney had to call this because otherwise it would look like he was afraid of Pierre Poilievre coming into the House of Commons. But, he should be. He really should be. We saw how he performed or didn't really perform in the debate, despite what CBC and the mainstream media says. And getting Pierre back in the saddle and getting him back into the House of Commons as soon as possible, it's not only going to serve Canadians well, it's going to make the Liberals feel immediately uncomfortable. So that's a good thing. Now, there's a lot of talk of whether Pierre should remain leader, should not remain leader. We are of the firm opinion that Pierre should remain leader. Some people were asking us questions based on our video a couple days ago of why we were being critical about Pierre and the Conservative Party. Well, in order to actually improve, you have to be honest. And we put forward a non-biased, objective opinion as to what we thought went wrong in that election. And we can only comment on what went wrong once you see the result. And we all saw the results. So you have to pick apart what could have been improved and what needs to be changed in order to improve next time. And that's what we did. So we hope that the Conservatives are doing the same thing. We strongly recommend that they do a forensic post-mortem on this election. We strongly recommend that they reach out to virtually every single riding association to get a handle of what they were seeing on the ground, what they felt worked, what they felt didn't work. And that's going to do a couple things. Number one, that is going to inform the Conservative Party as to what actually happened on the ground. And number two, that will further strengthen the unity across the country between the ridings. Now, we heard Doug Ford and Tim Houston, shamelessly say, well, after we completely sabotaged your election, we think that you should actually reach out and mend some bridges. Now, as annoying and frustrating as that may be, there is a bit of logic to that. Pierre has to find a way to shut these guys up. He has to find a way to bring the Conservative parties, the individual organizations within the provinces, as well as the federal government, together. That's the one thing that the Liberals managed to do, is they managed to keep their mouths shut despite whether or not they had any differences of opinion between the provincial parties and the federal parties. They managed to keep their mouths shut and keep all that drama stowed away. The Conservatives have historically had a big problem with that. So they need to figure out a way to deal with that as well. But they're going to have some time, and they're going to be able to mend some of these fences and allow some of these wounds to heal while things are kind of setting to rest. Now, the throne speech is now scheduled for May 27th. Mark Carney, unsurprisingly, is trying to make himself look as important as possible. So King Charles is going to be coming on over to deliver the throne speech, which many Canadians are not going to be too impressed with. But it is what it is, and we're heading back to Parliament early June. Now, when it comes to this by-election, when is that going to happen? If Mark Carney is true to his word, it's probably going to happen sometime in the middle of June to late June. And it also depends on whether Mark Carney is going to keep Parliament open throughout the summer. Don't know if there's any indication of that yet. We haven't heard anything. So if it operates like Parliament would normally, then they're probably going to rise for the summer in mid-June, and then Parliament is going to then sit when it comes back in September. So we'll see what happens. But this is really a chance for Pierre Poilievre to rise from the ashes and come back strong and show everybody that he is the leader that the grassroots Conservatives across this country believe him to be. Now, lastly, we are literally about to head over to the Rideau Centre in Ottawa. It's around 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. So we're heading over there to meet some phenomenal people from NP Nation, to sign some books, to sell some books that people are interested in that. And we're looking forward to meeting you all. And if you're not able to come to that, but you still would like a book, check it out. It's Vincent Visits Parliament. It's a phenomenal book that we're getting rave reviews on. It's already a bestseller on Amazon, thank goodness. So you can get it on Amazon, Pandemonium Publishing, or Indigo Books. So for those of you that are coming to the Rideau Centre at Indigo Books, we will see you shortly.